Hey, what is going on? So in this video, I'm going to break down how to get consistent sales as a secondhand reseller. So most new resellers can make a few quick flips, but then things slow down. Sales become random. One week you make 500 and then the next week nothing. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. I'm going to break down the exact system I use to get consistent sales every single day, every single week as a secondhand reseller, because once you understand how to build consistency, that's when reselling turns from a side hustle into a real business. So section 1, why you're not seeing consistent sales in the first place. Let's be real. Most people don't have a sales problem. They have a system problem. If your sales are up and down, it's usually because you're missing one of these three things. First off, you're not consistently sourcing. You're not bringing in enough fresh inventory every week. Number 2 is consistent listing. Your store goes inactive for days at a time because you're not consistently putting up new items. Then number 3 is consistent optimization. Your prices, photos, or titles aren't being updated regularly. You have to realize that these platforms reward activity. If you list daily, respond fast, and refresh stale listings, you'll show up higher in search results, plain and simple. So section 2 is just building a weekly system. To get consistent sales, you need a repeatable weekly routine, one that feeds your store nonstop. Here's the framework I use. So I use 2 sourcing days every week to find new inventory, at least 5 to 15 items if you're starting. If you want, do more so you can consistently list every day. You can do 10 items a day, 5 items a day. Try to buy more in bulk if you can, if you're getting a good deal. I usually have a sourcing day where I go once on the week and one during the weekend. And then 3 listing days, list at least 5 new items daily. So if you're busy, try to find 3 days in the week where you're listing those items. If you can, list every single day if you have time, before you go to bed, while you're watching TV, Netflix, while you're watching a YouTube video, you can list. It's super easy and doesn't take too much brain power. And then 1 shipping day or daily pickups. So ship every sale within 24 hours if you can. If you are super busy, try to have 1 or 2 days where you ship items specifically on that day. But if you can, on your way to work, drop it off at the post office. On the way back, go on a run there, go on a walk. Just try to find it and fit it into your daily schedule. And then 1 maintenance day as well. This is where you're going to relist stale items, respond to messages, and tweak pricing. So for responding to messages, try to be consistent as possible. Try to respond to them super fast when you see that message. But the tweaking and the relisting stale items, you can try to do that once a week if you can. If not more, is totally fine. When you actually follow this rhythm though, your store stays active, your listings actually climb up in visibility so customers can potentially see it, and buyers start seeing your profile everywhere and they'll start seeing your listings more consistently. You don't need to work 8 hours a day and just tire yourself out. You just need consistency. Section 3, keep your store active. Think of your reselling store kind of like a muscle. If you don't use it, it's going to weaken, right? So the platforms like eBay, Grail, Depop, even Facebook Marketplace all prioritize active sellers. So that means relist or refresh older items every few days, accept your counter offers to keep engagement high. This constant movement signals to the algorithm that your shop is actually alive. The result, more impressions, more watchers, and ultimately more sales and more money for you at the end of the day. Section 4 is improving the quality of your listings. You can't build consistency in your store if your listings don't actually convert the buyer to actually buy your item. Make sure every listing includes either clean lighting. Natural lighting is great as well. Using a ring light is great as well. Try to keep it to a simple background. So pavement, turf, whatever you can find that's simple. Carpet, I would not recommend. And then make sure you have multiple angles of the product. So the front, the back, the tag, the flaws, show everything so the buyer actually trusts you and you're actually more obligated to get less returns. Because if you don't include flaws and things like that, the buyer might get the item and then realize, oh my God, there's a stain here and you didn't include that. So they're just going to return it back and it's just more hassle for you. And then keyword optimized titles. So buyers, when they're searching it up, your product actually comes up. So Nike ACG, pullover hoodie, size XL, black, vintage 90s. What do you notice in this title, right? You notice the brand, right? You notice the style of the hoodie, you notice the size, you notice the color, and you notice the year. A lot of people like vintage, streetwear, 2000s, 90s, 80s. Include that, right? So for example, here's a photo, vintage Adidas football, soccer, Newcastle United t-shirt, size medium. What is it missing here? After everything I've just told you, what is it missing, right? It has the vintage, right? That's vintage. It has that it's the brand Adidas. It has the brand that's a football, soccer, Castle United. So saying the team, saying it's a t-shirt, saying the product, and then it's saying the size. So missing here is the year, right? So if you know the year of your product, add that, right? So here, what is missing would be the 90s. Add the 90s in there, right? Because buyers should trust you instantly from the photos and description. When your listings look professional and accurate, people will click faster, buy faster, and even pay higher prices for better quality photos because they trust the seller more. And then section 5 is track what's working. Here's where most people stop. They list, they sell, and then they forget to track. But this is where the consistency is actually built so you can make consistent income. So track these numbers weekly. How many new listings you actually post, your total active listings, and then your total weekly sales. This lets you see patterns. If your active listings are dropping, your sales will too. If your average profit per item is low, you might need to focus on higher value items and finding that, right? At the end of the day, data is going to keep you accountable, and it turns reselling from random luck into a predictable business so you can scale and just make more money at the end of the day. Section 6 is you need to think like a business owner. Consistency comes from treating this like a business and not just like a little hobby. So set goals, have sourcing budgets, reinvest profits back into your inventory, build systems that run even when you're not in the mood. And then that's the difference between someone who sells a few random items, maybe on the weekend, maybe once a week, whatever, and someone who builds a consistent income stream month after month and is seeing growth and learning as time goes on. And if you want to build a resale business that makes you consistent income, not just random flips, I teach the full system inside my mentorship to get you consistent sales. I'll show you exactly what to buy, how to price, how to list, and how to scale, and how to build your business into a full side hustle and maybe even full time. Here are some of my client wins. For example, Suze, who's one of my clients, was stuck around the $300 range, making that every month. And we already scaled her first month over $1,100. One of my clients, Jordy, his goal was around the 700 to 900 mark. Last month, he went from about making couple hundred a month to doing 1,700. And then my client Dylan, who just wanted to make 500 to 700 a month, he was stuck in the low hundreds as well, making per month, and he already passed $900 last month. So it just shows here what you really can do. So if this is something you're actually interested, I want you to click the link below to book a one-on-one call with me, or message me on Instagram at ForYaCloset to see if you're actually a good fit for my mentorship. Do not wait for the sales. Create them. Let's make you a profitable income so you can use this to pay for bills, save up for trips, and just not have to worry about paycheck to paycheck.